and welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show's special segment, Taste of Australia, which commemorates 75 years of bilateral relationship between Indonesia and Australia. What a friendship it has been for 75 years. And today, still with Australian Ambassador to the Republic of Indonesia, Her Excellency Penny Williams, and Australia MasterChef 2023, Chef Brent Draper.
Hello.
Well,
Hi.
hello, and now a new setting.
Yeah. Here, right? This thing going.
How are you guys with your cooking?
I think I'm
you
gonna be
nervous
liking
here?
what I'm gonna be having soon. Thanks to you, Brett. Right? Her Excellency, thank you very much again for being here. And then again, I think you're gonna get ready to be dirty a little bit and then enjoying the nice, beautiful steak. I think, Brett, can you tell us a little bit what's gonna happen here in the next few minutes or so?
Yeah, so I thought that I would do something that kind of, I think every club or bistro in Australia
Club, right,
has their version of a steak sandwich. We call it steak sanger.
Yep.
Because we like to abbreviate absolutely everything in every word. And so, yeah, you'll go to down, Sunday with the family, and you'll normally go in and there'll be a steak sanger on the menu. You can do it a million different ways. I kept it quite simple today, but I thought for the ambassador, it might, make her feel good about, the memories of Australia and
Right, of course, of
yeah,
course.
and something just, delicious. We've got some beautiful Australian steak here, porterhouse. I mean, you can't do it wrong because it tastes so beautiful. And so just putting on a little bit of bread with a couple of little condiments, a meal made for heaven.
Well, I can't wait. So let's let Chef Brent get to it. Why not?
All right.
All right.
Okay, you're gonna cringe right now.
Yes.
The amount of salt that I'm going to put on this steak, all right, you're going to be like a little bit nervous, but don't stress because it's going to fall off, okay? So most of it will fall off, but it's there just to try to create a crust.
Okay.
So that's the secret.
That's the secret.
That is.
That's the secret. All right, so we'll flip it. And now we want to get a nice hot pan. And we also, the number one tip I think with cooking a beautiful steak is, there's been so much work behind getting it to this point with the farmers, right up to getting it here in front of you. So you just don't want to, you want to do it justice. So there's a few things, right? There's a few things. Seasoning it well, and also bringing it up to room temperature before you put it down here.
I heard it's actually your favorite cut of steak. Is that true?
Well, I love steak, actually. So, I mean, when we're back in Australia, and of course my husband and I, we share the cooking, and sometimes with my bigger adult children.
Yeah.
More often than not, we'll have a barbecue. Even in the cold winter of Canberra, it's like steak, with a salad on the side, or some tomato and bocconcini cheese on the side. It's just a go-to. It's delicious, it's easy, it always tastes good, but I'm looking to pick up some tips. So I can even show my husband that,
So would you do the same like in the beginning, the way Chef Brett?
Always would have it out to room temperature first.
Universal way to actually have a good steak, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Basically, you want to oil the steak and not the pan.
Okay.
So what happens with a frying pan is you bring it up to a certain amount of heat, and then you put a cold steak on it. It's instantly going to drop the temperature of the plate, and then has to fight to build it back up again.
Yep.
And that's not going to create that really delicious crust that you want from a good steak. That beautiful crust, and then that beautiful tender meat inside. So by bringing it up to room temperature, you're now putting a warm steak. Even the oil is on there. You're not pouring cold oil into the pan, which is going to drop it. So everything we're doing right now is just trying to maintain that heat in that pan. And that there, that's all you need to know. You can walk out right now and cook amazing steak.
All right. I think, Excellency, I think we took some tips, right? So while we let Chef Brent continue, how would you, because the program today is Taste of Australia, how would you describe Taste of Australia?
So,
Both of you,
for me, this year's as you said, our 75th anniversary. It's like a birthday celebration of the relationship, the friendship between Australia and Indonesia. And we've been doing things that go to that friendship. So we've had film festival, we've done some mural work with artists, but I know.
It's coming right for you,
So I'm trying to stay focused. But honestly, what's the thing that speaks to everybody? Food.
Food.
And I've been in Indonesia for 3 years now, and always people are saying, "What's your favourite food? Have you already eaten?" Indonesian food in Australia has become more of a regular thing. So we thought having our MasterChef champion come over to Indonesia for the week and spend some time cooking with people, reaching out with alumni, going to universities. It's an amazing way. Food is just an amazing way to celebrate friendship and to start a conversation about who we are and what we enjoy. Like the moment we just started a minute ago, we're already like, oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Common ground over steak.
Yeah.
But as you know, like we have like specific herbs and things like that that makes Indonesian dish signature. What would you say, is the signature Australian taste?
Ooh, gee.
Is it-
You know what? The beautiful thing is, once upon a time, Australian cuisine was very, very, I'm going to say boring.
Or bland, even.
Bland.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't as like what it is today, because of immigrants and because of us going on holidays to places like Indonesia and then coming back and bringing that little bit of cuisine or that bit that we've learned, bringing it back and then trialing it. All of a sudden, we have this like diverse range of, I don't even know what Australian cuisine is anymore. It's like, it's just a bit of everything. It's just flavours of the world almost.
All right.
Ah, flavors of the world. Wow.
Look
So
at
see
that.
Look at that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Now we've got that beautiful crust. That's what we want, okay? That's really good.
Okay.
We now are just going to watch it. We're going to keep flipping it. The rule used to be, once upon a time, flip it once.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't have to.
No. You flip it now until you get that right. I would say anyone there who's really struggling with the perfect steak, buying a little thermometer. They're very, you can get them from anywhere, and you can you just put it in the middle, and all you want to get is then you're going on degrees, or you'll have it like pinpoint every time. You'll be like, okay, this is a medium rare. I would pull it off about 56 degrees internal, and every time it will be perfect.
Oh, you too. Well, I guess we both need kitchen thermometers, steak thermometers. Very important.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm considered a rookie.
Williams, you've been here now for 3 years. Now, just wondering, when you're at home here in Jakarta, do you mix between Australian and
Indonesian food,
on a
yeah.
daily
Yeah, we do
basis?
actually. So even when we're entertaining, and we entertain a lot, we mix between Indonesian food and then we have, as we were just saying, so if someone says Australian food, we could have Middle Eastern food because there's so many people in Australia of Lebanese and other Middle Eastern background. We do all sorts of different things, Italian. We often have a pavlova for dessert.
Oh, pavlova, yeah.
If you
Gotta
were
have the
cooking
pavlova.
Indonesian dishes, what's your best Indonesian dishes that you...
So I was here a long time ago as an exchange student, and
Yes.
I learned a few little things. So I think I'm pretty good with gado-gado because I'm pretty good.
Yes.
Because it's kind of because I'm pretty good at peanut sauce.
Oh,
And I can do a rendang, but it takes so long.
Yeah, that's right.
It takes a long time.
not
But,
easy.
but actually, in Australia now, people would know what is gado-gado. People know what is rendang. It's not something
Right.
unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
is it really, according to you, time-consuming to get a rendang ready?
Absolutely.
But you
You have to plan. Yeah, you have to plan it.
Okay.
You have to plan it.
Oh
Yeah.
my, can you
Oh,
guys
this
smell?
smells really
It
good.
smells so good.
Nice
Yeah.
things right here, right?
Wow. So, just out of curiosity, you mentioned before that you came here as an exchange student.
Yeah.
What was the experience like? I mean, you speak pretty excellent Indonesian, actually. So, can you tell us your special connection?
So I was here when I was 16 for a year, and I lived very nearby here. I lived here with an Indonesian family, and I was in Kelas 2 SMA.
Oh,
So I went to Indonesian school, and it was a long time ago. So it was, I couldn't ring, I couldn't send an email to my parents or like Skype or WhatsApp or whatever. So I was really here. So I really had the immersion experience. I loved it. I ate a lot of food for a year. I ate. So I returned bigger than when I arrived. I ate a lot. I experienced life as being a 16-year-old, and I'm still in very close contact with my
Yeah.
host family.
Out of curiosity, do these exchange programs still exist to this day? Or?
So there's still
Yeah.
different kinds of exchanges now, maybe not so people so young as back in the day.
Right, right.
But we have a lot of university exchanges and a lot of placements of young people in both countries. We have the Australia-Indonesia Youth Exchange Program, Australia-Indonesia Muslim Exchange Program. We have New Colombo Plan, where Australian students can come and spend 6 weeks or a semester in Indonesia. It's all about building relationships between young people, because, as I was saying at the beginning, when we talk about relationships between Australia and Indonesia, it's about relationships between people, and the more people have sat down and eaten food with
Yeah.
the family, more they've been to see different things,
Yes.
then the more you can kind of understand,
Yeah, the way like what we're
things.
doing now, you got something going in
Yeah.
front of us, and then we're just talking, like chilling.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us a little bit when you were here? You went to. I'm sorry. Did you mention the school that you went to?
I went to SMA 1 PSKD,
Where?
Jalan Diponegoro.
Yeah,
Depan,
Menteng.
Right
depan ini Rumah Sakit Cipto. Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
cool. So,
Wow.
when we were kids, Ambassador, we would during the break time,
Yeah.
we'd go outside with cart vendors and all that. Did
Yeah.
you do
Yes,
that too?
absolutely.
What did,
Actually, they would come through the. They would come through the
Right.
fence.
what would you get back then?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you remember still?
Klepon.
Klepon. You're giving jajanan, yeah.
Yeah, jajan.
Jajanan, exactly.
Pastel, yeah. But actually, also often back then, this was a long time ago. This
Right.
was a very long time ago. We would also go to Pasar Baru
Pasar Baru,
and
right?
had higang kelinci for bakso.
Still there.
It's still here.
There's still,
And
yes.
Did you have bami gang kelinci recently?
I've been down to Pasar Baru, but not down to higang kelinci lately. And also to Block M for
The Block
different
M area,
things.
yeah, still around
Actually,
too.
all around Chikini, Menteng, there was a lots of jajan. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, just wondering, Chef, did you know?
Yeah,
did you get what it is that she was saying just before? Just
Look,
wondering.
I'm going to say no. I have no idea. I'm just too busy worried
Yeah, I
about it.
know, it's moved on.
That's
So
my
next-
excuse,
But
all
look
right?
at this now. Can
look
you
at
tell
this.
us what's happening over there?
We
So-
finished the steak.
The other thing with a beautiful steak is we want to give it time. We want to let it relax, rest. I would say, for a 10-minute cook, you'd want to rest it for about 10 minutes.
Oh.
10 minute cook and then 10 minute rest.
So you don't want to be eating a piping hot steak anyway. And the minute you cut open that steak, if you haven't let it rest, it will just dry out really quick. So you will soon see that all its juices will start to come down
Come
the
out,
bottom
yeah.
and relax, and then that whole bottom there will actually be those juices, which then I'll put in with the onions, which will make a sauce.
Wow, okay.
That's
Yeah,
the
something
next
that-
secret.
Work smart, not hard.
Exactly. See
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
the best way to enjoy steak is, how do you? Like,
know what?
I want to go. I want to say medium rare. Is that?
Medium rare, yeah.
Medium rare.
I would say medium rare. Look, it's up to whatever you want. If you
Right.
like it a little bit you just don't want to push it too far. You know, it will just
That's
start
the
to
key,
go.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, medium rare. I like, people like it medium, and that's fine. I won't laugh at them. But if you say anything more, then I think you just sort of
So a maximum of medium.
maximum. Yeah.
Okay. Noted.
Okay. So, what else is going to happen here, Chef? You got that going on. You got the steak. So you're sitting the steak down for about 10 minutes.
So yeah, while I'm going to saute these onions, we've got. Is it peppers or are they capsicum? Over
This
here.
is capsicum.
Capsicum?
This
Okay.
is capsicum.
So same as Australia. And then we're just going to saute them. And you see, I did season it. And what that salt does is actually draws out the moisture, which then soften the onions. So it won't burn. It will caramelise them. So if you put salt on anything, that'll draw all the moisture out of it, and it will cook really nicely. Sometimes we would add a liquid to this, like we could add some vinegar, or in Australia we'd add beer. But that's probably just because it would be the closest thing to, it'd be here and then it'd be there. So, but that would just help sort of soften it. Or what happens with onions is it's a beautiful thing. The more caramelised it gets, the sweeter it gets. So you bit into this right now, and you'd have to probably go home.
Right.
But now you could eat that, and it's beautiful and sweet and delicious. Totally changed.
Oh, now, see, that's something that I never knew.
Ooh,
I
more
need
tips
I need
to
start
try at
cooking
home.
more. Yeah.
So now you can sort of see
Yeah. It's
There it is. Okay,
yeah.
so we're just going to add that in. And look at how much has come out of them.
Wow. So that's going to be the extra seasoning
That
for...
is-
Yeah, so that's part of the.
That's just a little bit of
make the
butter.
steak better.
Oh.
And then it's just going to help that sauce. And then we're pretty much done there. We can let them sit. A little bit of pepper. But at the moment, what I've learned with cooking, especially I've been doing a lot of cooking outside here in Indonesia, is this is Indonesian butter, I call it. It's quite melted. And it's a different world cooking here outside, I can tell you. But I have had an absolute ball. The people, from the minute I got off the plane, the people have been absolutely amazing and so welcoming. And the food has been just top notch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of recipes, what what seasoning or recipes do you usually use at home? Like what is the must-have in your pantry? At least
We
to
wanna know.
stock.
In Australia.
Here or in Australia, wherever you're home. Your home.
Yeah, look, it's pretty basic, and so it's good to see it confirmed. I am a great salt and pepper person.
Oh,
so
right,
yes.
if like tomato doesn't have salt and pepper, like I just, you can make me a sandwich, I go salt and
Then you
pepper,
put
salt.
salt. Yep.
Yeah,
Salt.
like I just want the taste brought out. But I guess that's pretty basic. But actually, it's probably the thing I use the most, like an egg even, salt and pepper.
Right, salt,
Must
pepper.
have salt
Must
and
have.
pepper. But yeah, I guess Italian spices in Australia,
Yeah.
people use oregano
Yeah.
a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's just a go-to, whether it's, one of the very first things children learn to cook is spaghetti bolognese, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's probably the first herb they learn
Yep.
to use is oregano, isn't it? I think that like it's an early kind
yeah, you're totally right. I think we all grew up eating spaghetti.
Yeah,
bolognese.
yeah.
Even here.
Yeah.
Even in my home.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
We got a
It
lot
is.
of that here going on too.
Wow. Look at this sandwich.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
so look at that magic of TV. I've got another one here.
So pan number 2.
So
Okay.
pan number 2, just not too hot this one.
Okay.
I'm just going to sort of toast these bread because I think you need it a little bit toasted. Just some butter. You could do some, really nice extra virgin olive oil. Just drizzle it. You could even go a little bit fancy and then rub a bit of raw garlic on it. But you
So
don't.
in terms of sandwich, right, what is usually the most preferable or, suggested or recommended bread to use?
Oh.
Ooh, look, I think in Australia, sourdough is just everywhere. It's like it is now just a new thing that is really people are pushing it. It's who can make the best sourdough.
Sourdough.
I think it started in Melbourne, Sydney, and then where I'm from up on the Gold
And
Coast.
what is that though?
So sourdough is instead of using yeast, it is a fermentation. So you have a starter or a mother, and then so it's a natural form of yeast, and
Okay.
that's how you. That's the word sour. So
Sour.
it's kind of a little bit sour.
Okay.
That's more health benefits as well. I
It is
think,
too.
right?
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Ambassador Williams, is there a recommended Australian place here that you
Yeah,
really
you
want us to go
particularly.
to? Because I don't think I've ever tried one around in Jakarta area.
Specifically.
Yeah, specifically.
So I think there's a couple that people have been influenced by Australia, but the thing is that we have, and I think you've had a chance to meet some of them, or you're going to have a chance, is there's a lot of people who are alumni who own coffee shops across Indonesia. So in Jakarta, it can be in Makassar, everywhere. So they might have studied lots in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's the
And
Melbourne
then they
coffee
kind of
culture.
get into the coffee culture. And so then you see avocado toast.
Yes.
Those
right.
sorts of
Yeah.
things.
A lot of
So
that these
like
days.
that kind of Australian breakfast, like the
Yeah.
poached eggs on sourdough
yes,
with avocado. That is the
Amazing.
Australian influence on
Oh, that's how you.
cafe.
Yeah.
So
That's
a
how
lot
you
of people
know.
go
Yeah.
to. So some people have just learnt that when they've gone to Melbourne, and they might have gone to study accounting, and then they come back and say, actually, I want to open a cafe and I want to do coffee. But some people also go to culinary school in Australia, so they might do. There's quite a few people who work doing lamingtons, pastries. There's some people who kind of across Indonesia. So it's not unusual to go into a cafe in Jakarta and actually find the person studied, or Makassar, or Surabaya, or Padang, and find the person studied in Australia because it just feels a little bit Australian. Like, it's just got that.
Yeah.
The meld, that's the thing, you know.
Yes,
It's not.
yes.
It's not like it doesn't say out the front Australian restaurant, but you
You're
can
right, that's right.
tell.
You can
But you can
tell, you can
tell
see.
there's the, and obviously places like Bali, you can really
Right.
tell
Oh,
that
right.
there's some things that are, and vice versa. So you also see in Australia Indonesian style, like there'll be Indonesian restaurants that are like Restaurant Indonesia, but then there's other ones that are a bit more fusion,
Right.
upmarket, that's a little
Yes.
bit of this. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like that sort of Indonesian style with an Australian spin.
I mean, after 75 years of friendship, obviously, this is the fruits of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
seeds that have been sown, right? How does that make you feel as an ambassador? You know, 75 years this year of friendship that goes beyond just, you know, government to government.
Yeah.
But, you know, walking around Indonesia now that you've been here, you've also lived here before when you were younger, right? So you have a special connection here. You know, how does that make you feel knowing that, oh, there's so much Australian, you know, yes, so much Australian, I don't want to say influence, but the fruits of friendship.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or the connections
Yes.
that people will come and say, oh, I went to Australia on holiday, or my relative lives, or someone studied in. It's nice, and vice versa. So, like Australians who have a particular connection with, it's lovely because I think you can have a relationship between governments, but at the end of the day, understanding really comes from a relationship between people.
Yeah.
Ah, all right.
All right. Well,
so, Chef,
Back to the
what do we
table.
have here?
Yeah.
so I'm gonna. That's been about 10 minutes.
Yep.
We'll
Wow.
check this.
Yeah.
So that is medium. All right. We've got medium, and then in the bigger one, we've got probably medium again. So,
Right.
hey, I said medium's fine.
Yeah.
Medium
yeah,
is
yeah.
fine. Medium is fine.
You're safe. You're safe.
Actually, I think in Indonesia, mostly people prefer medium.
Medium
you're
to
right.
medium
medium,
well.
Not a
medium
lot.
to medium
Yeah,
well.
medium
Yes.
to medium well. My parents go
Medium
for
and
medium
medium
well.
well.
I go for medium rare.
Yes. So with the steak sanger, I like to.
Oh, actually, that looks pretty medium
Yeah.
rare there. Like
Yeah.
some of those bits.
There you go.
Yeah, there, yeah.
There you go. On national TV.
Beautiful.
All right, so I like to cut it nice and thin. You know, gone are the days of putting just a whole steak on a sandwich. You want to be able to bite into it and not be like,
Right.
Tear it off.
Fight with it.
Yep.
so could you pass me a plate?
Yes, please.
All right, the moment everyone's been waiting
Here
for.
we go.
Which
I
Here
know.
we go.
All
No-
right, thank
no
you.
pressure.
No pressure.
All right. Let me.
All right, so we got
This
some beautiful bread here. And now what we want to do is we want to chuck some beautiful porterhouse steak.
Wow.
Wow.
And we just sort of just tilt it so like
Thing.
that.
Yep.
Ooh.
We go with our onions and our capsicum. And you don't even need a sauce on this because, you know, we've made that sort of,
Yeah.
those onions there have sucked up all that sort of juice that I put in with the
Yep.
butter. I just don't think you need
But
it.
it didn't have much butter, did it? Was it
didn't.
just a...
Just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So what happens if you put in too much butter? no, I'm
You
sorry.
have a
I
butter
love butter.
soup. You have a butter soup.
I love butter.
okay.
So.
Cheese.
All right, so we got some cheese on top, and in here we've got some mozzarella, Australian mozzarella, and Australian parmesan. And you think that's enough? It's not enough.
Right.
Okay, it's not. Enough.
Oh.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
Gotta have the show. It's a show at the end of the day.
So now what we want to do is we just want to melt that beautiful cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. It is something out of your MasterChef playbook?
This is in my repertoire.
All right, I like it.
So
The winning
so the
treat.
Yeah, the
grill is
winning
your
move.
sort of specialty.
Yes, it is. I like a little bit of fire here, if you can get that
And
in
more salt. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
there. And there it is. We'll give it a little
Yay.
cut in half.
Wow.
Ooh la la. So is it possible to cut it in 4 pieces so all of us can? Ooh.
Oh, that
Good
looks so
Lord.
good.
Yes.
Do we want to cut it into little
Yep.
kitty pieces? We could do that.
Pieces.
We can do anything
So we
you
can,
want.
so we can, all of us can try here because we want to make sure we try it as well, right?
Yeah.
The excellency does not look amazing.
So just
Does
while I'm
look
doing
amazing.
this, what is the tips for cooking the steak again? What do we want?
salt and pepper,
Yep.
right? Let it sit, and then if you have to flip it a couple of times, no problem.
No problem.
Right?
No problem.
And when you, let's say, cook it for 10, that means you rest it for 10.
Beautiful.
Oh, and oil on the meat.
Oil on, right?
Oil on the meat,
Oil
not on the pan.
Not on the pan.
That's the
My
biggest
job's
secret
gone.
of
Yes!
Yes. It's been a lecture, Chef Brent.
Yeah. Can we have a bite?
Yes, guys,
Wow.
let's dig in.
All right.
You guys first. And then,
Okay,
please.
okay, Excellency.
But I already
Fun.
said that I didn't have my lunch, so I
Yeah.
could just look.
You can have mine then.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
So-
try a beautiful piece.
Kai?
Look at this.
Can I just?
You know what? I want this, but I really
You
want.
really want that one
the
too?
Oh, I
beautiful
really
piece
want
of steak.
this.
Uh-huh. I'll
Wow.
go with this. All right.
It is hard to wreck
is
a
so-
beautiful steak.
So good.
Hold on.
Okay, you had me.
I am just worried
I
to
am
eat that
taking
on national
so much.
TV because I'll probably get it all through my beard.
Yeah.
Sweetness of the onions,
Sweetness here.
cheese, beautiful
Bit
steak,
cheese.
The
And
steak
always-
is so soft.
and seasoned all the way through.
So in my I love all food. I love all vegetables, but in my family, the one thing I'm famous for not liking is capsicum. But this,
Ooh.
but this,
No one told me that.
no, but this is delicious because
Yeah.
it's kind of tastes sweet.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
like yeah,
We've taken the time to just sort of,
yeah.
right, and
It's so
we've
good.
added flavours into
You could just
it.
put this on the side with anything.
Oh,
That's
sure.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, this
Soft. The meat's definitely there. Salt.
What
I,
else?
mean, I could use a little bit more salt, personally.
More salt.
No, I mean, next time.
You know what I'm
I'll
always
go
afraid
more.
of when I
I'll
eat a
go
steak
more.
sandwich is that
I
I'm
like
so
that.
scared that the meat is going to be a little bit hard to chew because then you'd have to eat the sandwich and then
Yeah.
But this is beautiful. This is
And then cut
Yeah.
it into those really small, thin strips. That allows for you to sort of bite, and if you do, can't cut it, you get that tiny little bit, and that's all. So, yeah, it's a very simple way. I mean, this Australian beef, the one way I would probably
Beautiful.
eat it is I would season it like we did, cook it, and then lemon juice. And
Lemon
that is
juice?
it. Lemon juice and a little bit more salt, so that acidity from a lemon with that, that little bit of fat through there.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
Those two things, it's just perfect. It's just simple,
perfect.
yummy food.
wow.
Well, that does it.
Yeah.
You aced it, I think.
Oh,
right?
It's
Yeah.
delicious.
Oh, this is not ace. This is Australian MasterChef ace. That's for sure.
Exactly. Well, all right, guys. We're gonna say thank you, of course, for the Australian ambassador, Penny Williams, and of course, Master Chef Brent. Thank you for coming in again. We are very, very grateful that you guys are here celebrating 75 years of
Yes.
our two-country relationship. Hopefully, going forward, still going to be very strong and very delicious as, right?
I mean, after 75 years, it's evident that there is just so much to see, and to enjoy, both in Australia and in Indonesia as a result of the friendship. So thank you so much for coming, Excellency and Brent. So stay with us right here because we're going to continue with the 3-hour news show right after the short break.